They're drowning. They don't know what to do. They need help. And how far are you willing to travel?
I'll go to hell and back.
Here we are, Tessa Marie, movement makers. She's been with us for a year, so we're doing a special bonus session together. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, I like it, but I need more challenges. I need to do more. I need to reach. I want you to tell me, like you always say to me to speak more. I speak. I can't speak anymore. Well, I can, so I will continue speaking. Um, I did the TED Talk thing. We contacted them, waiting for them. I sent over 162 emails to different companies. I used the information I got that asked them who is arranging their seminars, their talks, their workshop. Get the name, then get in touch with that person. So I did that. And they're still waiting and they haven't started, stuff like that. So I want to know what else can I do? It's not how to do it, it's how do I do it?
And what's the goal? Speaking?
Yes, speaking.
And how far are you willing to travel?
I'll go to hell and back. I want to do it. But that has been something I have wanted to do forever, ever. Even at the bank, anytime they wanted somebody to speak, I would be the first one to offer to volunteer. So they trained you, they taught you stuff, but I kept doing it. And I really want to experience being on either in a Zoom call, on a stage, just to do it. I have to, even if it's for 5 minutes. So the next time you're presenting, I am coming so I can be the opening act.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
So you better put my name on the list. So you have to follow me. I will be your portable person. So next time you're going somewhere, just let me know. I'll be there. I'll open for you.
Well, listen. So how many TEDx places have you applied to?
10.
And what was the time range? Like, how far out are they?
3 months, 6 months. Because of COVID, they said they have a backup.
Yeah.
And it has to go through the different people who has to see whether they like your content and stuff like that or what you have to say. And so it's going through that phase. So
if you're willing to travel, you apply to everything in North America.
I have. Everywhere I can find one that's taking you. Some of them are saying they're full, not now. They want to be, they always prefer for you to be nominated by somebody else.
Sure, but a lot of them are small. I mean, the ones that are 3 months plus out are not, they shouldn't be full with content yet. They're still organizing. Like if next week or the next month, okay, yes. That's where you present yourself as a backup option for people in case of a cancellation. But for 3 months plus out, they're still figuring out what they're doing.
But they don't give you that information. They tell you they're working on it. They have 3 months of people ahead of you to sort through. And some people won't show up if you're willing to fly in a day's notice where they are. They have some in Canada, of course, as you know. So I tried those. And then I went to the northeast and a little bit west and central in the United States.
And you only got 10?
I sent 10 out in the last week. I purposely do 3 a day.
Okay.
I work on it every day. I do 3 a day. So that's something I do at 8:45 in the morning. I'm doing it. So it's like a job.
Yeah, but it's great. Consistency will deliver. So
better.
It shows you, the website shows you, I mean, I've looked at it in a while. It shows you the city. It shows you the time, location. It shows you the theme too, right? Like what the theme of the talk is going to be. Or the
whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, and inside of that, I mean, it's mostly run by a bunch of volunteers.
It is.
Yeah.
I even tried to apply to be one of the volunteers. So that's something that I did too.
So depending on, when you're dealing with volunteers, just like anything else, Some people are highly responsive and great at what they do, and they take a lot of pride and care of ownership of what they're doing. And other people are super disorganized and are just, we should do a TEDx event, and don't get back and don't check email. And so it's not their job, right? It's a part-time, like, passion thing that they're trying to do, for some for different reasons. Like, some really care about the topic and want to put it out to the world, and others just want to be able to put that on their resume that they organize a TEDx event.
You get that when you talk to some of them, you can tell, like, it's more of an ego thing. Those you talk to, you can hear the ego coming through the phone, and they list all their volunteering to end up at TED Talk is the end for them.
Sometimes. Depends on the person.
Yeah, you hear it, but what can you do? You need to get one. So that's why I have to figure out, with your help, what can I do?
Well, more. I mean, TEDx is going to be your biggest option to get a stage and to have it be looking professional and filmed and all that stuff. 3 a day is not enough, right? If you want to take it seriously, you spend the next 2 weeks to find all of them in North America.
I will continue. I won't give up. But when I first started, 169 I've done so far. 169 of them.
Of TEDx?
Yes, I've sent off already.
Oh, you did 10.
No, 10 in a week. I'll do 10 in a week. That's what I'm aiming for now. So I do 3 a day.
So you've been doing it for 16?
Yeah, I've been working on it from the time you mentioned it earlier in the summer. You said something about TEDx, about talking, and I've been sending it. I've resent them. I am like a thorn in their side.
Okay. So if you sent 169 out, now we have some data to play with. So what's the feedback?
We are still working on putting stuff together because of COVID. We have backup people that couldn't make it, or we didn't have the volunteers to plan it, stuff like that. Okay,
so then it's just staying on top of people. Every week you follow up.
But that's what I'm doing. I'm going back over the beginning again.
Well, anybody who wrote back to you who said, "Hey, we're still thinking, we're still planning," every week you follow up and offer help. Like, "Hey, do you need help planning? I'll volunteer and help you plan."
Even those in Canada, I tried, and those in Canada actually are the ones that are giving you the list. The replies comes. They don't come as quickly as those outside of Canada. The Canadian ones, you have to go back to them and say, "Remember me? I sent you this," and you have to. So the advice is to do it really business-like. Like, who does your talks? Can I have their name? Get in touch with them and send it. So I've done a bunch of nonprofits here. I did that. But again, now is the time they might get ready for next year.
Yeah, I don't know how many events are going to have, like, everything shut down.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm trying to see if I can be ready to start again in January, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, you can still be messaging out. I would still be doing the 3 a day and following up with people over the break. It's going to slow down. That's fine. It is what it is. But they'll have anybody who, if you've hit 169 people, not everybody's going to write back. It's fine. Some people will, and some people will like the topic or they're reviewing it. But anybody you get feedback from, your goal then becomes to be their chief goal officer. Like, how many of the 169 wrote back to you?
73.
That's not bad. Half.
70.
I mean,
yeah, 50%.
Almost, right? That's not bad.
Yeah.
So in those 73, I'd almost forget about, like, if you have a choice between the time, forget about the outreach to the new and the 73. What are they struggling with right now, and how can you help them? Like, how do you help pull TEDx Talk across the finish line? Not just you going and speaking there, the whole event.
I haven't thought of that. I said I wanted to volunteer on a few in the city. So that's what I was trying to do. But as you're saying, so in this case now, what you're suggesting is that I ask them how I can get involved to help them to get going.
I would try to get on a call or Zoom with them,
Uh-huh.
and help them carry this thing across the finish line, the whole event.
Okay.
Which includes you speaking.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That is something I can try.
For a lot of them, again, as volunteer, they have very poor organization skills. They probably never put on this kind of event before. They got excited about launching the TEDx talk. Now they're in way over their head. They're drowning. They don't know what to do. They need help. Now, like, as you grow and get better, and it may not be worth your time at some point to do it. But right now, go help them.
Okay.
They need help putting together an agenda. They need help securing the location. They need help, I don't know, whatever they need help, communicating with their volunteers.
What do you think about doing a talk and choosing a topic or choosing people to go on a talk and do a talk in the city or something? What is that like? You've done it.
What do you mean? You're going to help them?
Like create your own. With TED Talk, fine.
Oh, you could create your own whenever you want. It could be in a city. It could be online. You could definitely create your own. The upside of TEDx is that there's already a platform that's kind of recognized, that people know what a TED Talk is, and you have an audience that will show up, that you don't have to do the promotion and figure that part out. And it's usually filmed and in a nice place, like an auditorium. It's kind of been set up, so that alleviates a lot of the work. So it's an easier way to get a more professional looking product. If you just wanted to go and talk, then you just set up any kind of partnership with organizations, like I did at the YMCA. My first talk was YMCA. YMCA is everywhere. You can go and talk at any YMCA. Just share your story, what you're all about, and then once you get one talk under your belt, you go to another YMCA. You ask for referrals to other YMCAs where you're going to go on talk. That's easy. Like, you can do that just in Toronto. How many YMCAs are there? You don't have to go to Florida. I mean, it could be a good excuse to go to Florida and get some warm weather in New York. But stuff like that, YMCAs are everywhere. The downside is you won't have a lot of people there, and it won't be filmed well. I mean, you can always go and have your camera and film. But you can go and talk and you get practice. That's how I started. The next level after that is different organizations in different cities. So here's an example. Before I did my tour, like, I went and I did a paid speaking tour of my own in every city, right? But before I did that, I did a test in Boston. And I just decided 2 days before, it's like, today's a Wednesday, right? It's basically deciding this weekend I'm going to go to Boston. And I went with Nina and I went with my 2 camera guys, and we're going to go. What are we doing? I don't know. We're going to figure it out. We're going to Boston this weekend. And it happened to be it was July Independence Day, July 4th, long weekend, which didn't really, I didn't think about it because we're Canadian, but, and I just put all my efforts into Boston, and then people started making connections to say, oh, I know this person in Boston. And I ended up doing a coffee shop meetup. So hey, meet at this Thinking Cup Cafe in Boston next to the Commons. And then I ended up doing a talk at a place called Boston Speaks, which was run by a local entrepreneur. And people just said, you need to talk to this guy. You need to talk to this guy. I'd never heard of Boston Speaks. I had no idea who this guy was, but just started to make connections. And I spoke at the event. And I don't know, there were 40 people, 30 people who showed up. Super last minute. It's like, hey, Evan's coming tomorrow to come speak. Who wants to come and listen in? Some people knew me. A lot of people had no idea who I was. So a group like YMCA has systems and staff and structure across America. if you go city by city, there's lots of different independent groups where they don't have that connection, right? Like in Toronto, there's Enterprise Toronto. I used to speak there and volunteer there for free.
I remember that, yeah.
For a couple of years, where I would speak once a month just to give back to the local entrepreneur community. But Enterprise Toronto is only in Toronto, and they have, I think, 2 locations now where you can actually go and speak, downtown or North York. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't scale to other cities, but it could give you a regular speaking gig. Again, though, it's not going to be filmed unless you film it. So, those are the pros and cons. Bookstores are doing things all the time. Meetup groups, you can go and speak at meetup groups. Like if you just want humans in front of you to speak, go to meetup.com and see how many different groups there are around things, either personal development or entrepreneurship or finance, because you love talking about that stuff. There's so many different groups talking about those things, and you could be a guest speaker to come in, but it's not going to be filmed and it won't be a big audience. But if you just want practice speaking, that's easy outreach. Like you could do meetup. There's definitely meetup groups happening in December where you can go and
there are. Yeah, there are a few of them, quite a few actually. I saw that.
Like you might get 30, 50, 100 people at a bigger group. It doesn't have the cachet of a TEDx, and you won't get the red circle, and it won't be filmed well, and it may not be in a nice auditorium kind of thing. But if you just want to practice speaking,
but it's better than what I'm doing now, right?
Yeah,
it is. Because now I'm speaking on Instagram. So if I speak in a cafe with 30 people, then I don't care. I just want somebody else besides Instagram and Facebook and even YouTube to help me. I want to get in front of more people. Because I know once you get there, if you continue, it gives you feedback.
Feels. I mean, I love the comments coming in and the hearts coming in, but like when you actually get to meet somebody in person and hear, that's the whole thing. It
is different. Yeah.
That's what I live for. So you get that, not just feedback how to get better, but feeling like what you do matters.
Yes.
And it also leads to connections. Like somebody in there will lead to another opportunity for you. So
I try to go to Indigo or the bookstores, and everybody's excuse is COVID, which is what it is. It's COVID.
I was in for our American audience here. Indigo is like Barnes and Nobles. It's a harder one because I spoke there every week for maybe a year or 2 years, and I brought the second most people. And in one of the years I was speaking there was number 2 after Sting. So Sting came in and did a book tour, and apart from him, I had the most people showing up to my events. They want to sell books, so it's a lot harder because you don't have a book and you're not selling other people's books. No. So kind of got to figure out. They've got, that was a big. I only went to Indigo because we needed space. We started at YMCA, ran out of space, moved to Royal Bank and their boardrooms, ran out of space. So then we moved to Indigo. So I had people to kind of bring with me. But it wasn't an easy, they're so bureaucratic and they just care about selling books that that's not going to be an easy option for you.
They perhaps could take my book, Controlling the Debt Monster. They carried it for a long time at Barnes & Noble, and Indigo carried it for a while.
It's just such a headache to deal with them.
I know.
But
it was a headache.
Not anti Barnes & Noble or Indigo or whatever. It's so bureaucratic. No, I would do meetup groups. Mm-hmm. You could message the organizers and say, hey, I'd love to come in and talk about X to serve your group. I don't have anything to sell. I just want to come in and give it.
Okay.
To get practice.
I could try that.
74 people who responded to you about TEDx. Help them close that event down. Like you got a really good rate. 74 out of 159 is a really good percentage of a response. So that you're doing something right in the outreach. Having 0 out of 70 whatever people like book you, that's really bad. So that's what we need to fix.
Thanks. I needed to hear that. That I needed to hear.
but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily you. It's just their organization skills and their planning and their preparation and their priorities it's just not there. So out of those 70 plus people, help them. Like, you should be able to get 10 speaking gigs at least from that, just by helping them understand what their problem, like maybe their problem isn't booking speakers. Maybe their problem is organizing the venue, or maybe their problem is booking the camera crew, or like they have a million problems. Help them understand what their problems are and just help them solve the problem, even if they're in Wisconsin. Because you'll make the phone calls and you'll do the research and you'll figure it out and you'll help them. Like, I will. You become the project manager for the whole event and help them carry this thing into existence.
And what I want is to talk. So if I have to do this legwork to talk, I will do it. That's for sure. I will not go. I will do anything, because that's what it's insatiable. Until I reach that point, I'll never stop.
Yeah, one thing is somebody who sees you talk there will ask you to talk at their event, and Lily, who we did the first TEDx thing with, she got her speaking gig in it's across the border, close to the border, I forget where, and after that, she got asked to speak at a couple churches. Now, she didn't want to keep doing the travel, and she found out she didn't want to be a speaker. Ultimately, like, she started trying to be a speaker, and then she wanted to become a coach. So she turned off the speaking part just as it was kind of kicking up. But like, somebody saw her at that event and say, "Hey, can you come speak at this thing?" And that's how it happens. Like, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. But you just have to do extra legwork. But I think it's more valuable if you. I thought you only talked to 10 people. I'm like, Tessa, what do we do?
No way.
I get it.
I would never give up. I have no intention of giving up.
So you got 73 people on the line.
Yes.
They fall apart. Some of them, it gets canceled, whatever. It's a hot mess. So go in and fix it. Help them deliver the project. That's more important than reaching out to new people now. Okay.
Because I didn't know they were so disorganized. I could get it when they by the replies. It's almost like it was vague or dancing, not in a straight line at all. So I thought, that sounds funny. Why are they like that? But now I understand, as you said, I figured out they were all volunteers there. Yeah. And from the top down in that particular group would be all volunteers. I figured that out. But I didn't understand they had no previous training to do this until you just said it. So now I know. So now I'll go in and insist on being a volunteer and try to get to a few of them. I will. I'm not going to let go.
Yeah, and I mean, your persistence is great, and your charm is great, and your organization and just dedication to making stuff happen. It'll work out. But just ask them, because they only see you as a speaker. But they've got a million problems that they're trying to fix right now to launch this event. So just ask them, what are you struggling with in terms of launching the event? How can I help? I'll do anything to help, because I want to make sure it's an important topic that you picked. I want to make sure that this event happens. And apart from speaking, how can I help you make this thing happen? I'm great at boom, 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 boom. And you'll get 10 out of the 70 something at least and you can pick the ones that you actually like the humans the most behind the project.
I thought I should be in for 20 out of that 70. I know that's pretty high, but that's what I was hoping. I intended to go back on them. I really and that was my intention, but no, you have reinforced it by what you said. So I will go for sure. So I have 3 things to do. In TED Talk, volunteer work with them, go to Meetup organization. And after you do your next presentation, I will close for you, since you do not want me to open. So you are not getting off the hook either. So if I were you, I would figure that out.
Better. That's better.
So anytime. So you heard the 3, right? Insist, work with TED Talk,
And listen, I think you can get
meetups and groups, and Evan Carmichael as his closing act.
you could do the 20. You could get 20 out of the
I
70.
will get 20. I have to.
Or
I
just
must.
Well, it's more how much work you want to put into each one. That's
I
all.
will. I have nothing else to do. All my kids are grown. I can do anything I want. The only thing is that COVID has my passport. So as soon as COVID gives me back my passport, I'm taking off. I don't care. So, well, not really. You know what I mean? We cannot travel everywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, I am. So this is what I'm aiming for.
You can go across the board. You can go to the U.S.
Yes, I can. I have all my vaccine, and I'm going for a booster. So we'll see.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, but you can go anywhere in North America. You're good.
Yeah, I'm going to work on it. I'm not going to let go. The next time you talk to me, you're going to have positive replies, and one of them will be test did close for me at my last presentation. So if I were you, I would start thinking of it, because I am not going to let you go. Every time I see you, I'll say, when is the next presentation?
Yeah, she's coming for me. She's coming. Ah!
But I am really serious about the TED Talk thing and the meetup. That's great advice. I really am happy you took the time to break it up in so many little components for me to get it. And that's one of the things I really admire about you, is that you don't just put us outside and say, go figure it out. Even me, that's the oldest person in your whole group, you still treat me like I'm 10, but that's okay. I'll take it. I came in knowing you and my son were the same age, born 2 months apart in the same year. I signed up knowing that. So I came prepared to be taught by you.
What I love, there's so many things I love about you, but the willingness to learn, the willingness to jump in, the willingness to, I don't know what I'm doing, so here we go. Great.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Why most people don't win, so they can learn a lot from tests.
No, but this is something I must tell you. I don't do that often enough to tell you. But when I do it, it's pure. There's no strings attached, except now I just put a string to it. But besides that, what you give us as a group and the things you're doing, and the last two challenges we had, the momentum and the resilience, that really was good. I think it woke up our group, and I really liked it. And a lot of people enjoyed doing it. I did it with Michael. I did it with my nephew from New York. He's a writer, and he's writing a series, and I knew he went through resilience as a child because he was left with the grandparents on the plantation. So I wanted him to talk about that, and he did. So it not only reached us, the movement makers, like what you gave us went outside of your group. So besides all the things you do with us, that was one of the things I really, really valued. And everybody seems to like it. Last night was great on Clubhouse. And you don't like being hidden, do you?
I don't like being what?
Hidden.
I don't like being hidden?
Yeah, Clubhouse, you're hiding.
Oh, I like that you guys are just taking over, right? I mean, I've never needed to be the center of attention. Like Terry did a great job hosting. You guys all shared awesome stories. I'm just listening.
No, but do you prefer to do virtual than do in-person talks? That's what I really meant.
Oh, given the choice, in person is always better. However, you could get a lot more with virtual, like you can do more of them and you can reach more people. So it's always that mix. Like the most fulfilling is the one-on-one, but that doesn't scale very well. So if I'm going to hit my mission of solving the world's biggest problem, I have to do a lot virtual. So it's just finding that balance. So.
Well, anyway. That was great. I'm happy you did that with me. This is my newest book.
There it is.
My goal setting, and we have the program on Saturday from 12 to 2. So I'm teaching people how to set goals. They're always asking me how you do it. So now I'm going to teach. So I got 12 people registered. So that for me was amazing. So I'm hoping to do that, and we'll see where that goes. So it will be on Zoom. So it's going to be virtual. So I hope I can do it.
But you got to meet up this month somewhere in Toronto.
I will. I'm going to do it. And I will report to you.
Good.
I will let you know how I'm
Discord.
doing.
Put it in the Discord, Tess.
I will put, that's what I meant. You see, that's
Right.
where I'm going. So I'm looking forward to that. And I really, really, truly appreciate this time with you. And thanks for all your great ideas. And I hope somebody who came today learned something, you know, all this, like Rosie Rose wants to be a speaker, right? So I hope something helped her. So thank you, Evan, for spending this amazing 33 minutes with me.
We love you, Tessa.
I love you.
Happy 1 year. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Bye-bye, everyone.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.